What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the MG YouTube channel. I'm Malachi Greb, CEO of Elite Automation, Elite Properties, and an investor in Tesla. Today I want to make a video that's actually like more of a consumer video, where basically I tell you guys what I think about the Cybertruck. I've owned the Cybertruck for like 9 months now, and I don't do a lot of consumer reviews, so I'm gonna kind of go through some of that. Before I start my review, I have a destination in here, and I'm gonna start self-driving. I don't know if you've heard of anything about self-driving, but honestly, that makes for the #1 reason to buy a Tesla is the self-driving. I'm just gonna go wide view. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Self-driving is the #1 reason to buy a Tesla, hands down. Like, it's the reason why I'll probably never buy another vehicle again. So it doesn't matter. I'm gonna hold the phone now. Whatever. I don't have my like tripod dealios with me. But again, I probably won't never buy another vehicle unless I'm just like buttload rich and like just want to buy another vehicle and just don't care about spending the money on it. But that's very slim because I'm kind of cheap. So yeah, I mean, the FSD, again, it's the #1 reason. I'm not driving right now. The vehicle's driving itself. You can see, I mean, just driving itself. But if you don't know about Teslas, then you don't know that like the software updates pretty frequently, and FSD, which is the self-driving software, will go through waves of updates where like it may not update for like 6 months because they're working on a major revision change, and then you might start getting updates like every week, every few weeks, something along those lines. So, you know, with that being said, we are currently going through the major revision of version 14. We just got that software version, and whenever you have a major revision change in the software, you get major improvements. And really, we just reached a point where this FSD is essentially ready for self-driving. It's ready for unsupervised self-driving. Now, they haven't released it as unsupervised yet. And if you're thinking about getting a Tesla, then that might be a reason to jump on it now, is to purchase FSD and get it before it goes unsupervised, because no telling, once it goes unsupervised, they might want to charge, you know, $15,000 for FSD. And at one point in time, they did charge $15,000 for FSD, and then they lowered the price down to like $8,000 for FSD. So, it's highly likely once it's unsupervised that it goes to that price, and or they'll have two options where there's a cost for like a supervised version of the FSD and a cost for the unsupervised version of the FSD. And you'd say, well, why would you do that? Well, one, they could generate more revenue, they could generate more sales, and it also removes some liability from Tesla, right? Because if it's still supervised, then you're still liable for the drive, right? Whereas essentially Tesla has to buy that liability if it's unsupervised. So, kind of getting into some of the specifics of the Cybertruck. First of all, so you don't waste a bunch more time, the Cybertruck's a great truck. We own multiple other, we own one other Tesla. We own multiple other vehicles. We own another Tesla Model Y, and we own a Lincoln. We've owned an Expedition, 2 Expeditions, an Excursion. And so, experience with quite a few different vehicles. And, you know, like, let's say, for instance, like the Excursion, this thing pulls so much better than, like, my Excursion does. It has a V10 Triton in it. It's not the diesel edition, but, I mean, this just pulls so much better. Like, night and day difference. And part of it's age. Like, if you compared it probably to a brand new, like, F250 or something like that, I wouldn't even say it's comparable, because just the way and nature of electric motors, it's just way different, right? You have so much torque in electric motors, and there's no curve, there's no gear shifting, there's no so like without those transitions, like it makes it just able to like pull easier. So like pulling trailers and stuff like that is like, it just feels like there's nothing even there at all. I mean, I would equate it to like if you was pulling the same trailer with like a F550 or something like that. Like getting in more of the semi-style trucks that are not even like really your, you know, more commercial, a commercial truck or whatever. But yeah, a few things that I just really love about the Cybertruck is it's steer-by-wire. So obviously I'm an FSD, so I can't show you right now, but basically the wheel only turns like this much. So it's like that much, and you're basically at a full, you know, full rotation of the wheel, which is really nice. Honestly, like whenever I jump back in like the R Lincoln and stuff, I almost wreck it because I forget that I have to like double turn the wheel, and I'm like, oh crap, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I mean? To get like a full cut of the wheel. So I really love that. There's also rear steering in this thing, so the rear steering just makes it love too. It makes this thing like kind of turn like a Miata, where like if I need to turn around in the middle of like a intersection, not necessarily like a busy intersection, but just an intersection in general, it's pretty easy to whip it around in that intersection just because that rear steering. It gives you so much tighter of a turn radius. Also with a trailer, it makes it like very easy to back up a trailer, and you have the ability to turn it off. So like there's some instances where I'm like trying to get that last like couple inches and I want the trailer parked exactly the way I want it. I turn off the rear steering. Now it gets me that 90%. Now I don't always have to turn it off, by the way. It gets me that 90% so easy, way easier than not having the rear steering, which backing up a trailer is not that hard anyway, but it just the intuitiveness of it and the way it whips and puts the trailer back exactly where you need it. It works freaking perfectly. And again, just having the ability to turn it off. Sometimes, like when you're trying to get that last few inches, the trailer starts to do the opposite of what you want it to do. But then you can just turn it off in the software, and then you're good to go. Ride height adjustment. That's another thing I love about this truck is you can change like how high the vehicle's riding, and like if you're riding on highways, it'll lower just to give you better like fuel economy. Or electron economy, or however you want to call it in these types of vehicles. Or like if you're going on like rough terrains, like we have investment properties and stuff like that, and so like sometimes I'm driving back through the alleyways and like there's like huge potholes and stuff, like huge potholes. Like so I'll put it on high and then just ride through them and have like no concerns on like taking out a bumper or anything like that. I mean, most trucks don't really have that problem anyway, but like there's like entry mode in this truck too, so like it lowers really low to the ground, like whenever you go to get in and get out. So it's like really way lower than like any like normal SUV. You don't even need like side steps and stuff like that. It's probably like more similar to like a crossover or some ride height whenever it's in entry mode. The tonneau cover, I love the tonneau cover. Let me see if I can probably open it real quick. Do I have anything back there? I don't think I have it back there. I hope I don't. So boom, the tonneau cover's open. Oh, it's got the glass screen, or glass roof, which I don't care too much about because I don't sit back there. Right now the tonneau cover's opening. Boom. Now you can see out the back window. The tonneau's open. So why do I love the tonneau? First of all, it's like made out of like a metal material, and I feel pretty secure about it. Like if somebody wanted to break into it, they'd have to break into it. You know what I mean? They'd have to like get a crowbar out or a sledgehammer and, you know, rip it apart to get it open. So for like that being said, like I keep tools and stuff in the back all the time. You also have the frunk area as well, where it's your front trunk. So that Expedition you see right there, we own that same Expedition, which is like a 2020 something, 2020 Expedition XLT, and it's like a V6 EcoBoost. It did pretty good with pulling the trailer. It actually does like just as good as like the Excursion, and I think that's just due to age and turbos and things like that, age of transmission and motor. Not that it's old, it's just like the technology's so much more superior in like your newer vehicles. Oh, but yeah, I love the tonneau cover, keeping tools and stuff back there, keep tools in the front. Like now I keep all my like straps and stuff in the front. There's also a trunk inside the bed of the truck, but one downside to that is if you have stuff in the bed of your truck, it's hard to get to the trunk. So like you want to keep stuff in there that you're like not going to use very often, or if you are going to use them, you're going to use them like when you don't have stuff in the bed of the truck. So I used to keep my straps back there, and then it'd be really annoying because I'd have a bunch of stuff in the back of the truck and then need to strap it, or I would load all my stuff in the back of the truck and then I'd realize my straps are in that trunk that I can't get to now. So I either got to take everything back out or not strap things down or or something like that. So I started putting my straps in the front of the truck, so that way, you know, I just never have issues with being able to get to them. Obviously, I have the CyberBeast here. This thing is freaking crazy as far as like the amount of speed and power that it has, and that was part of the reason why I got the Beast, is because we tow, you know, equipment like for our automation company, and you know, a lot of that equipment we tow is pretty heavy. So, you know, I wanted something that had plenty of power to pull, and I also wanted to make sure that like the vehicle itself wasn't, how do I say, wasn't like to the peak of its payload, right? It's always healthier on a vehicle if you can keep like the amount of load that you have on it like way under what the payload capacity is. And especially for me, like I'm concerned about like the electric motors more than anything. That would be something that would fail on a vehicle like this, like just having the electric motors like push out, you know, way more amps for way longer than what they're meant to. So again, that's why I went with the CyberBeast primarily. I mean, the speed's cool and all, and I love it. It's freaking fast. It's like, you know, the fastest truck in the world, and it's like one of the fastest vehicles in the world in general. You know, I think it beats like some Lamborghinis and stuff from like a 0 to 60 standpoint. So I think that's super cool. What else? There's like so many features that like it's just hard to remember them all. But like, I can long hold this button. Now this is a software update. I wasn't able to do this like literally a few months ago, and I can long hold this. I have a pin code here, and then I can access my glove box. So super cool, because I keep things in my glove box that I don't want people to get to. And however, I need to get to those things fairly quickly, and I don't want to have to navigate through the screen to get into my glove box. So being able to long hold this button, I can do that. And also, you can program this button to do other things. So it's like, it doesn't just do the glove box if that's not what you want. There's other things that you could have it do. Now, I can't remember what they all are off the top of my head, but it's there as an option, which is really cool. Like, what other vehicles do you have that you can like program the buttons on it to do like things that you want it to do? And again, this happened in a software update. This wasn't an original feature of when we bought the vehicle. And so, like, you know, Teslas are always getting over the air updates, not just for their FSD, but just for general software in the car and bug fixes. If they find out like it's like lowering and hiring, you know, and got weird instances and start getting feedbacks on like some weird feature of the vehicle, then it'll, you know, they'll push a bug fix and boom, they fix it, versus like getting a recall on the vehicle and have to take it back in there. By the way, we've been just still driving in FSD and have not been driving at all this entire trip. What was one that I just thought about? Oh, when it comes to climate settings, you have one setting in here called dog mode, which won't let me pull it up while we're in drive. But essentially it gives you dog mode and keep. So that way, like, you can just keep the climate for, like, when you run into a store. Like, basically the same thing as leaving your vehicle running, except for your vehicle's not running because it's electric, so nothing's actually moving, which means the only thing running is your heat and AC. And then, like, dog mode, like, shuts off your windows, so that way, like, the dog can't accidentally roll down the window and then jump out of the car, which is really cool. I love the dog mode. We have dogs now, and I like to take them with me, and it's cool to be able to, you know, have them in the vehicle, and then it puts like the big dog mode thing here on the screen, so that way people who walk by, they're not just like concerned that, like, you know, there's a dog just left there in the vehicle. You know, there's a lot of Karens out there that think like, oh my god, he left his dog in the car, like that type of thing. So like, it says in big letters and has a dog on there. It says we're in dog mode, and it says the current temperature of the vehicle, so that way, again, people don't freak out. We have Sentry mode, which some of these things are just like Tesla and general things, not just Cybertruck. But Sentry mode, so basically the vehicle has security around it 24/7, and it records like any incidences of like people like trying to mess with your vehicle or anything like that, which is super sick. For this, probably a very important thing. Are people like still messing with you about like the Cybertruck and driving a Tesla and stuff like that? I would say pretty much no. There's some like hardcore pink-haired Democratic people that, you know, they still like flick you off occasionally, but like it's like pretty much nothing now. Like it got bad for a second. There was a few months where, like, you know, you either got a thumbs up or you got a finger. You know, it's like one or the other. Like almost every person you've seen, it was like a thumbs up, finger. you know, and it was a very controversial vehicle for a period of time, especially the Cybertruck, because of its odd shape. People like just could clearly identify that that's a Tesla, that's a Cybertruck, and yeah, they would just target it. But I don't see hardly any of it anymore. It's like completely died down, or either that or I just got used to it and I don't give a shit anymore, which I didn't really give a shit in the first place. But like, sometimes it's annoying seeing people be annoying, you know. But again, I think that's gone, which is pretty cool, you know. It's a big deterrent for a lot of people, and it's just not an enjoyable experience anyway, even for somebody like me that doesn't really give a shit. But yeah, what else we got here? I mean, obviously, like, again, we can go into like a lot of Tesla general things. I mean, dynamics, so you can change your like drive profile, whether you want it to be like raised higher, less acceleration, or if you want to go beast mode and it'll lower the vehicle and have a super high acceleration. Towing, so you can come in here and just change all your towing settings, save trailers, you know, adaptive regen brake. So it gives you some different options there. Getting flagged. By the way, this has gotten so much better now. I don't have to pay attention near as much. Like, I really couldn't even shot this video with my phone in my hand before, prior to like this new version 14 update and them relaxing the software more. They're basically saying it's so good that we're getting close to making it unsupervised. So before, like, if I had my phone in my hand, it would like flag me and say, you need to pay attention to the road, you need to pay attention to the road. But now, I barely paid attention to the road. I've been diddling the screen, I've been like talking to you guys in this video. My eyes have been forward quite a bit, but again, like, it's just getting crazy. Oh yeah, how can I forget that? That's one of my favorite things. The outlets in the vehicle. So you have a 120 outlet and a 240 outlet. I still personally haven't used the 240 outlet. However, I am working on doing a setup at my house where I can use the 240 from the truck to power my house. And this truck has power share, which I also don't have set up yet. So the power share basically lets your truck be a backup generator for your house, which is a badass feature. The downside to that is like, you got to spend $5,000 to get it installed in your house. It might be even more than that. It might be more, might be less. Okay, it depends on like the installation costs, like how far an electrician has to run wiring, and what type of setup they have to do it. But I think just the box itself is like pretty expensive. I want to say the box itself is like $2,500, which is like the box that has the electronics to do the shifting from like your main power source to the truck's power source. And it does it instantaneously. Some people say they don't even notice it shifted. We just pulled into the driveway and it just parked. Boom, crazy. So we literally just drove all the way here, and yeah, well, so I pulled this trailer here with me. This is, I believe, an 18-foot trailer. No problems pulling it, fully loaded. I mean, I want to load it down like way more than what I've loaded it down. We have a 30-foot trailer. As of right now, I haven't towed a whole heck of a lot with that 30-foot trailer with this truck. I did tow a tractor, which I'm sure that, you know, that was quite a bit of weight. And just the trailer itself on our 30-foot trailer is like 6,600 pounds. So it's a heavy trailer. And then I put a, you know, tractor on it. So I'm sure we were pulling like the full capacity of this truck, if not over. Yeah, I just want to kind of just run through some more of the settings things. Outlets, I love the outlets. I have an extension cord that runs from the trailer, and so I can plug it into the truck whenever I have it connected. And like I have our DeWalt chargers in there. We have lights inside there, and they all run off of the 120 outlet. So things charged, air compressors in there. Again, all runs off the 120 outlet. Autopilot. Oh, this is a new thing. They tell you how much self-driving you've used. 94%, which I'm really surprised to see that low, 94%, because I use FSD for everything. The only thing I don't use FSD for is like parking lots, or like, oh shit, I want to go to this place right here, which there's supposed to be another update that's coming. They're supposed to be having Grok controls, where if you don't know what Grok is, then I'm just going to show you real quick. Hey Grok, can you explain how Grok is going to be integrated to control Tesla vehicles in the new update?
Oh man, the new Tesla holiday update from just a couple days ago is rolling out Grok integration for navigation stuff. Basically, you can chat with me right in the car. Say, hey Grok, take me to that cool coffee spot near the park, and I'll add or tweak destinations on the fly. Even act like a personal tour guide with fun facts along the way. It's not full-on driving control yet, more like smarter voice commands to make trips easier. Works on newer models with the latest software, like 2025 0.26 or whatever. Pretty slick, right? What are you thinking of using it for?
Heck yeah, thanks. That's all I needed, bro. Yeah, so you can see like that was Grok if you haven't used Grok. So Grok's an AI model. But like right now, this is my version of take me to Eastland Mall. Okay, so it put Eastland Mall in there. So it did put Eastland Mall in there. However, this is like very generic. Like if you use this type of feature, this voice feature, in like pretty much any vehicle, Ford, Toyota, whatever vehicle has like the voice features like this, you notice they're kind of like suck, and it kind of sucks in here in the Cybertruck. But what they're basically planning to do is, instead of it being like that, it'll be like Grok, and Grok will immediately pop up and help me. It looks like he's sitting there silent because I just like basically said that Grok's gonna help me, and it like somehow like says, okay, well, cool, he's not ready for me to help him yet. Grok, tell me some Tesla news today. Oh, maybe that's not the thing. Maybe it's just like not cooperating at the moment. But yeah, it's gonna be really cool because like one of the biggest things that sucks about FSD and one of the biggest reasons for disengagement is like, oh, I want to go to that place over there. And like it's almost more work, at least to a human. I think it feels like more work to like diddle your navigation than it does to just take over and just drive it into the parking lot that you want to go to. But if I can say, hey, take me to that you know, Burger King right there. And if it can hurry and update the GPS quick enough, which I'll probably make a video on that whenever we have that feature. And if it can do that quick enough, then that'll for sure, like, that'll be just so clutch. Having these Grok AI models, not even Grok AI models, any language model needs to be integrated into smart things, right? We need to have more utilization with it, not just an assistant that we talk to. I'm just going to get in a side tangent. But my point being is, like, you look at Google Home and Google Assistant, it kind of sucks. Yet you have Gemini, which is Google's AI model, that works pretty good. You can, like, conversate with it and things like that. However, like, well, Gemini is just now starting to roll into, like, kind of replacing Google Assistant, which that's how it should be. That's what we need. And, like, whenever I'm trying to control my home lights, like, if I tell my home lights, hey, shut off, and it says, oh, I do not recognize the device. Bro, like, try, like, look and see what the available devices are and say, like, oh, did you mean, at least say, did you mean this one? And I can say yes or no, and then you can shut my thing off instead of just telling me, I don't know. So that's the difference between, like, these dumb voice commands and, like, having a AI, like Grok or Gemini or any of these things, right? The point being is the fact that Tesla is integrating Grok into the vehicle and allowing you to change maps and stuff like that is incredible. And at some point in time, we might be able to even talk to the vehicle and say, hey, speed up. Hey, slow down. Hey, you're going too quick. You know what I mean? And be able to adjust the vehicle's, you know, driving style. Or I might say, hey, Grok, or you're driving too aggressively. And then maybe like all it does is change it from like Mad Max, which is one of the speed settings in FSD, to like sloth mode or chill mode or something like that. And maybe that's all it does. But maybe that's enough too. If I can just say, hey, Grok, slow down. And then it'll boop, boop, put me on chill mode. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. At least right now. At least, like, while we're progressing things. Like, those things are okay. But I want to see some of those voice controls and voice commands that are smart and intelligent. Not like these junk ones that are, like, on this mic here where it's just, like, doesn't understand what you say half the time. You gotta say directions to, or it doesn't understand you, like things like that. Like, I hate when you have to use exact word commands to do something, because humans don't say the exact words every time. We use different words and terminologies to mean the same thing. So, yeah. Overall, I freaking love this vehicle. I mean, it's just an awesome vehicle. You also have regen brakes, so you never have to replace the brakes on the vehicle. When you're pulling a trailer, it's really nice too, because as soon as you let off the gas, you start to slow down. Now, when you're pulling a trailer, sometimes you do have to use the brakes, but if you're actually very proactive and like let off your gas like way before you need to, you never even have to use your brakes while pulling a trailer, which is wild. Imagine you're pulling a trailer, and then you don't have to use your brakes at all. So like, you're not wearing out your brakes, you're You're rebuilding more regenerative braking while pulling a trailer because you have more weight pushing you forward, and you can like regen longer. But it's just nice, like too, like you're like if you're traveling down a highway or something like that, and you're going downhill, like if you like ever been to like Tennessee and stuff like that, like you know you got to worry about things like hot brakes where you're going downhill so much that it just basically burns your brakes up. Well, when you have regen braking, you take a lot of that load as regen, and you take way less of that load as you know, directly to your brakes. And I've even heard of some people like going up mountains, right? You obviously lose a lot of power, but going down mountains, people have gained like 1, 2, 3% going back down the mountains, which is pretty crazy, you know? You get to the top of the mountain and your battery's low, and you start going down the mountain and you're like, come out the bottom with, you know, an extra couple percent of battery. It's kind of cool. But yeah, love this truck. I love how spacious it is. If we're comparing it to like other Teslas, I mean, it's like F-250 space. There's so much space in here. My truck's a mess. I use this thing for work, so and I run and gun. I don't stop. But yeah, I love it. I love the spaciousness of it. I really wish they would also create like a cyber SUV. I just want an SUV variant of this with third row seating, and give me like the 8 seats. I need the 8-seat version. I'll take a 7-seat version, but I really need the 8-seat version. And I just love SUVs. Like I said, I've owned Expeditions, Excursions, Lincoln Navigators, all in the L edition. Every one of them's the L edition, the XL edition, whatever the longest version of that vehicle is. I love like big, long vehicles with lots of storage, lots of utility. I'm a utility-based person, so like I want things that have a ton of utility. But yeah, if you have any questions about the Cybertruck, you can drop them down below. If you're interested in anything else Tesla related, I talk a lot more on like the business side of Tesla and things like that. But I can also make review videos like this more if people are interested. But yeah, I also, you know, talk all different types of things, investment related, properties related. I'm actually just pulled up to one of our properties now. About to go in here and get started with some things, get this bad boy listed. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for viewing, and hopefully this was entertaining and informative. Peace out.